Hey there, fishing fanatics and fellow anglers. Your old friend is back with another crucial forecast to get you geared up for the waters. Today, we're diving deep into what awaits us on Friday, November 1st, 2025, across the great fishing grounds of the USA. This isn't just another day, my friends. Early November in the States is a real wild card month. Some days it's all about the finesse, while others, the fish are practically jumping into the boat. What surprises will this particular Friday hold? Stick around because I've got the insider scoop on how to turn unpredictable conditions into your next trophy story. Now let's talk tactics for some of our most sought-after species, keeping in mind those dropping temperatures. First up, for you freshwater enthusiasts, the largemouth bass will still be on the prowl in many areas. As the water cools, these guys are often moving deeper, looking for stable temperatures and ambush points. I'd suggest focusing on those creek channels, deeper points, and any submerged structure like brush piles or rock formations. A slow retrieve is key right now. Think about a jig and pig, a football jig, or even a slow-rolled spinnerbait. For soft plastics, Texas-rigged worms or creature baits fished excruciatingly slow along the bottom can be deadly. Pay close attention to the warmest parts of the day, usually from late morning to mid-afternoon, as bass will often push up to feed when the water temperature is at its peak. Their preferred active temperature range is typically between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, but in November they'll tolerate cooler water and slow down. Next, let's consider trout, a real cold water warrior active in many rivers and streams across the country. In early November, especially in tailwater fisheries or spring-fed streams, trout will be actively feeding. Look for them in current seams, behind larger rocks, or in deeper pools where they can conserve energy and ambush passing food. If you're a fly angler, nymphs like a San Juan worm, pheasant tail, or stonefly patterns can be incredibly effective. For spin fishing, small inline spinners in gold or silver, or even tiny spoons can entice a bite. Remember, with colder water, their metabolism slows, so a subtle presentation and a slow drift are usually more productive. They prefer temperatures between 50 and 66 degrees Fahrenheit. For those of you hitting the coasts, the redfish or bite can still be fantastic, especially in the warmer southern coastal regions. These red drum will be schooling up in clear, shallow flats on sunny days or holding in deeper channels around docks and bridge pilings. Sight fishing can be excellent when the water clears. My advice, live shrimp on a Carolina rig, or scented soft plastics like a 4-inch grub or a soft plastic shrimp imitation. Cast these near structure or along grass lines. Look for signs of baitfish and definitely keep an eye out for birds working over schools of bait. Where there are birds, there are often redfish pushing bait to the surface. Redfish typically prefer water above 62 degrees Fahrenheit, but in November they will often school up to cope with falling temperatures. Finally, let's not forget about walleye. Especially in the Midwest and northern states, November can be prime time for bigger walleye as they start to put on the feed bag for winter. Focus on deeper humps, rocky points, and breaks where they can ambush baitfish. Jigging with live minnows is a classic and highly effective technique. You can also try slow trolling crankbaits that mimic baitfish along drop-offs. Early morning and late evening bites can be strong, but don't overlook a midday feeding window if there's stable weather. Their ideal active temperature range is 64 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, for the nitty-gritty, let's break down the conditions for November 1st, 2025. Weather report. Across the vast expanse of the USA, we're looking at generally milder conditions for early November, with average daily temperatures hovering around 63 degrees Fahrenheit for many areas. However, remember the USA is huge, so expect variations. Cooler than normal conditions are anticipated in New England and the high plains, while Texas, the desert southwest, and the deep south might enjoy warmer air. Atmospheric pressure should be fairly stable, around 1014 hectopascals, which usually points to a more consistent bite, my friends. Wind will be light, averaging about 2 meters per second. As for precipitation, it looks like a mixed bag. The West Coast, particularly the southern Pacific Northwest, California, and Nevada, may see some rainfall, but much of the east is expected to be sunnier and drier. How will this affect the fish? Stable pressure is always a good sign. The overall dropping temperatures signal fish to feed up, but also to seek out deeper, more stable thermal zones. Those cooler northern winds could push some fish deeper, so adjust your depths accordingly. Water temperature. As we transition into November, water temperatures are definitely on a downward trend across the country. In many freshwater bodies, you can expect temperatures to be anywhere from the mid-40s to low 60s Fahrenheit, depending on your latitude. For instance, coastal Florida might still see water temperatures in the low 80s, while northern lakes could be in the low 50s. This is critical because fish are cold-blooded. Their metabolism directly correlates with water temperature. When it drops, they become more sluggish and are less likely to chase. This means slower presentations are vital. However, a slightly rising water temperature, perhaps from a warm front or strong midday sun, can really kickstart their feeding activity, especially for species like trout and bass. Moon phase. On November 1st, 2025, we'll be under a waxing gibbous moon. This means the moon will be between 78 and 85% illuminated and growing towards a full moon in just a few days. The moon will rise in the mid-afternoon and be visible through most of the night. Now you know, us anglers love to talk about the moon's influence. Many believe a brighter moon phase, especially a waxing gibbous, can stimulate nocturnal feeding, potentially leading to a slower bite during the day, or it could mean fish feed heavily at night and are resting during the day. It also influences tides, which are crucial for coastal fishing. Keep an eye on those moon-influenced tide charts. General fish activity. November is truly a transitional month for fish across the USA. Many species are making their move from summer to winter habitats, meaning they're on the move and can be unpredictable. Some, like the big bull redfish in coastal estuaries, will be in a pre-winter feeding frenzy, while others, particularly in colder northern waters, might be slowing down and seeking deeper refuge. Freshwater bass and walleye will often have short, aggressive feeding windows as they try to fatten up. In general, active fish will be searching for stable conditions and concentrated food sources. You might find schools of fish grouped tightly together. Given all these factors, the generally stable atmospheric pressure but widely varying temperatures, the dropping water temperatures pushing fish deeper but also triggering pre-winter feeds, and that bright waxing gibbous moon, I'm going to give the overall fishing assessment for November 1st, 2025 as moderate with periods of good activity. The bite will be capricious. You'll need to work for it, but the rewards can be substantial if you adapt to the conditions. All right, my friends, that's the lowdown for November 1st, 2025. I hope this forecast helps you plan your next adventure on the water. Remember, be safe out there, respect nature, and always practice catch and release for those bigger breeders. To all of you, I wish you nothing but tight lines and nippy fish. If you enjoyed this, please smash that like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss future forecasts, and ring that notification bell. And tell me in the comments below, what are your go-to baits for early November, and what species are you hoping to tangle with this weekend? Share your wisdom.